Tonight on MotivLearn, we get into the nitty-gritty on human enhancement. You'll want to stick around for tonight's show. It's a bit deep. Let's get into something that's reshaping wellness as we know it. Human enhancement. I mean, the kind of stuff we use to only see in sci-fi. Brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, are no longer just concepts. They're here. They're giving people the ability to interact mentally with devices. Imagine controlling a computer not with your hands, not with a voice, but directly with your thoughts.
It's wild, isn't it? And BCIs are just part of this bigger trend of cognitive enhancement. We're not talking about just tracking steps anymore. We are stepping up literally to improving how our brains work. Think real-time insights into how stressed you are or tweaking your focus. There are apps, wearables. It's becoming accessible.
Absolutely. And when you consider AI-driven healthcare on top of that, the tools to optimize our mental performance are expanding at a pace we couldn't have imagined. Let's not forget life extension therapies, too. Senolytics, for instance, are removing old cells that bog down our system. It's like aging is becoming optional.
Okay, hold on. Optional aging, that's a statement. But seriously, when you mix in things like nootropics, those brain-boosting supplements, they're exploding in popularity. It's like the market for wellness just keeps growing, and things like Alpha Brain, it's not just the Silicon Valley crowd getting in on this anymore.
Right, and it goes deeper than supplements. Stress management, mental clarity, they're becoming buzzwords. But with substance, neuroscience today is showing us how to truly manage cognitive health, not just cope with the daily grind.
Like the Mind Diet. It's so simple, but a lot of people don't realize how much food plays into brain health. And the wearable tech now, it's not just for sleep or activity, it's analyzing brain activity itself.
Stuff like Colonel's helmet blows my mind. Well, metaphorically.
Fortunately, these innovations are pulling back the curtain on how we understand emotional performance as well. It's not just about being smarter, but being more adaptable, more emotionally steady.
It's kind of poetic when you think about it.
These tools aren't just increasing productivity, they're teaching us how to turn down the mental static. Like, what if stress management wasn't just about taking a deep breath, but about rewiring how your brain responds to challenges?
Exactly. And with these advancements, we're looking at a new era of wellness.
One where the line between mental wellness and performance enhancement starts to blur. You know, Jessica, it's almost like progress didn't just knock on the door, it kicked it wide open. Speaking of wellness, let's take a step further. We've talked about mental clarity and cognitive tools, but what about their impact on our connections with others?
That's where relational wellness steps in. It's about fostering meaningful connections, real deep human relationships in a world that's honestly feeling more disconnected by the day.
Yeah, and it's a reaction, right? To things like loneliness rates, which are skyrocketing, or the fact that so many relationships just fall apart.
We're realizing that being emotionally intelligent can't be optional anymore. It's essential, whether it's with your partner, friends, or family.
And emotional intelligence. You know, it's not just fancy jargon, it's skills we can learn. Stuff like active listening, open communication, self-awareness. These are the building blocks of relationships, but they're also what a lot of us struggle with, especially when life gets chaotic.
Right? And it's not just personal relationships either. We are seeing this extend across societal boundaries. I mean, take social media. Sure, it connects us, but a lot of people are using it to advocate for respect and emotional vulnerability too. Even influencers are pushing for healthier dynamics in friendships and relationships.
True. And it's kind of fascinating how people like Barack and Michelle Obama, or even Will and Jada Smith, they've shown us just how much work, and honestly, patience, goes into maintaining strong relationships over decades. It's not glamorous, but it's real.
And that's the thing. Real relationships are messy, but they're worth the effort.
How we relate to others directly impacts our emotional health. It's like relational wellness is the antidote to the constant distractions and superficiality we've all been drowning in.
Exactly. And speaking of challenges in relationships, here's a tricky one. What does it mean to be a man these days?
Because that's what this whole modern masculinity trend is digging into. And honestly, it stops you in your tracks. It's this balancing act between emotional openness and traditional ideas of masculinity, like toughness and dominance.
It's such a tightrope, isn't it? On one hand, there's this push for men to embrace vulnerability, to be more empathetic, but on the other, society's still like, be strong, don't show weakness.
It's confusing to say the least.
It really is, and I think what resonates here is that men feel caught between those two roles, like they're being pulled apart. How do you stay strong while also being authentic? It's a big question, and there's no easy answer.
The thing is, though, we are seeing progress. More men are realizing they don't have to pick one over the other.
They're blending characteristics, being assertive when they need to be, but also willing to ask for help or admit when they're struggling. That balance is powerful.
And it's not just about men finding that balance for themselves. It impacts everyone they interact with. Think about it. If we're all striving for these deeper, more honest connections, the ripple effects could be enormous.
Healthier relationships could mean stronger communities overall. Speaking of creating balance and healthier connections, there's another area where we're seeing a major shift. Healthcare. It's no longer just about reacting when something goes wrong, but about preventing problems before they even start. These holistic clinics, they're frankly a game changer.
Totally. I mean, these are places that offer full body scans, gene-based insights, AI-driven diagnostics. It's like they're taking preventive care into the mainstream. The idea of making health assessments available in your gym or local mall, that's kind of incredible.
It's about making these tools accessible and honestly a regular part of our lives. Instead of dreading the doctor's office, you're proactively optimizing your well-being. I gotta say, it's brilliant.
And the concept of using tech to detect issues early, it has this ripple effect. It's not just about living longer lives, but healthier ones.
Exactly, Tyler. And that pretty much wraps it up for tonight. Let us know in the comments what you think about tonight's show and the format of this video. That's it for today's video, guys. See you next time, right here on MotivLearn.
Have a good one. See you next time.